We were learning on and off on the Mesilat Yesharim, and I want to bring some point from the Mesilat Yesharim that in a way has to do a little bit with the parasha of this week in the characteristic of Avraham Avinu, and also something that we could implement to our lives as well. One of that particular quality that I'm talking about is zrizut. We spoke about it last week. Avraham Avinu was zariz. Zariz means agile, does things without delay. And Avraham Avinu was known for that, because everything that Avraham Avinu did was always, he was either running or doing it. He was always very quick about things. The great quality, therefore, of a person that has that quality of zrizut, agility, is the understanding of the spiritual rule, and there is a spiritual rule, of when he tells us, Lefetach chatat rovetz. Ma ze chatat? What's chatat? Sin. What kind of sin?
Unintentional sin.
So lefetach, on the doorstep, your sin is waiting there. What it has to do with anything? And it's interesting. Once you understand this law, that sin is just like on the other side of the door, is your understanding that you need to overcome it. And how do you exactly do that? To overcome failing, both from a religious point of view and a secular point of view, is doing all your actions, whether they're holy or mundane, whether kodesh or chol, all your actions in a quick way, and overcoming the quality of laziness and lethargy that really we all have. I mean, we're all lethargic about what we do. We're all kind of lazy about what we do. We don't do it right away, and that becomes a problem. On that, David HaMelech said in Psalms
115.
291.
No, Kuf Yutet, which is 119. Verse
7.
Zion.
74.
60. It says, Chashti velo itma'amati lishmor mitzvotecha. I was quick, and I did not delay or procrastinated to keep your mitzvot. In keeping the mitzvot, the midah of zrizut is essential. It's very important for us to understand and acknowledge that naturally we all like to be somewhat static, right? And this is why we all like stability. We like to stay where we are, even if it's negative. We don't like change. Many people will tell you this straight out, that they would rather have their known problems than to make an effort to cause some kind of a change. I mean, it's so bad that really what happened in Europe to people, whether it was in Germany or was in Poland or was anywhere else, even after they knew what the Nazis did, they would rather stay where they are than to okay, we'll deal with this, don't worry, we'll pass on, than to actually make a change in their lives and pick the stuff and go somewhere. And that has to do with us today. This is the situation in which we are at. And especially if that the effort to make a change is, not really known, it's kind of foggy, but still we would rather take the problems, okay, well, it's going to pass away, gam ze yavo, but that usually does not happen. We know that we all came from earth, right? Me'afar bata u'le'afar tashuv. You came from earth, and earth by itself is really connected to its place, unless the wind comes, but really dirt stays in it. Even if there's a whole ocean on top of it, it stays where it is, it doesn't go anywhere. And that's why our materialistic nature is really to stay in our situation without seeking to progress, to move on, and to create some kind of change. We would rather stay where we are, and that's very, very bad. To become zariz, to become agile, means to go against your physical nature, your teva chomri, your physical nature, which is very brute, that all wants to do is asher yeshvei betecha, sit and not do anything. I want to have in a constant peace. People who are, it's so bothersome to me. The people who are 20 years old looking already for retirement. It's like, I don't understand that. They have nothing to strive. Everybody wants to have their little cushy jobs. Nobody wants to take risks. Nobody wants to open his own. Everybody wants to be a boss without doing anything, right? Take a chance. Open your own business, right? You could have arguments like work somewhere else and make your money and go home and like this, but take a risk. Take a little store. Make something happen out of it. Do something. No, I want to get a cushy job, government job that I don't have to do anything. I'll sit home, and that's but it's terrible for us, especially when it comes to us as religious Jews trying to live some kind of a spiritual life and do the mitzvot. It's detrimental. It's terrible. It really is bad. The Ramchal really pinpointed this point by saying on the quality of laziness and procrastination, Mesilat Yesharim. He says the following, and I'm quoting: "V'tireh ki teva adam kaved meod." Nature of man is very heavy. Ki ofriyut achomriyut gas. The essence of materialism is very brute. Spiritualism, the neshama, is very gentle. Chomriyut is gas, is brute, is unrefined. Al ken lo yachpotz ha'adam betorach u'melacha. That's why a person doesn't want to push himself and he doesn't want to do anything. In a way, that's, by the way, a slave mentality. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to bother. The boss will worry about it. My master will worry about it. I don't have to do anything. I just sit there and I become lazy. ומי שרוצה לזכות לעבודת הבורא יתברך, whoever wants to be worthy to be called to serve God, צריך שיתגבר נגד טבעו עצמו. You need to overcome your own self, your own nature. ויתגבר ויזדרז. You need to get some power inside of you, some braveness inside of you, and you have to be very agile, very quick about things. שאם היה מניח עצמו ביד כבדותו, then if you would let your lethargy take over you, ודאי הוא שלא יצליח. You're not going to make it. You don't take chances, you're not going to make it. You're not going to fail, but you're not going to make it. And that's the greatest failure. That's the greatest failure. For a person who is looking for a meaning in his life, I will tell you it's very important. For a person who is looking for a meaning in his life, to be anchored, to not seek any changes, is a double, quadruple disaster. Because if you want to progress yourself in spirituality, you have to be in constant movement. And that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Avraham Avinu, Lech Lecha, go and walk. Lech Lecha, Lech Lecha, always moving. He didn't say go, and then when you get there, sit down. Lech Lecha. And then when he got to the promised land, right, he said to him, walk up and down the country, walk up and down. In other words, when you even reach the promised land, always keep on moving. Always be in constant moving. When you want to sit down, I don't want to have, and by the way, that sometimes also means getting into confrontation. Right? I don't want to get into confrontation. I want the easy way out. You get crushed. You get crushed. People will take advantage of you. You get crushed. A person that is very hard for him with changes, and every movement that he makes, or any thought of a movement, scares him so much, right? Like, for example, changing workplace, changing an apartment or a house or where a place, changing his habit, or friends. I mean, these are things that, people, I don't want to move out of here. I'm feeling very comfortable. We're going to go somewhere else. You know that you have a bunch of friends that are low life. No, I don't want to let go. I'm going to be alone. Better if you be alone to be friends with that. And so on and so forth. A workplace. It's abusive there for you. Get up and go. Find something else. Don't worry. Find something else. A person like that is going to have also a difficulty to elevate himself in spirituality, and he's going to have very difficulties in elevating himself in keeping the mitzvot, Rabotai. And you need to really, comprehend that very, very well. There are people who keep Torah and mitzvot, and many people, they do the mitzvot like an automatic pilot. They just put it on cruise and they just do it like this, right? And that's why we call it in halacha, we call it mitzvat anashim melumada. In other words, they already know they're working like donkeys. That's what it does without any. It's like rote mechanism, without even thinking about it. Where when you do things from an internal fire combustion, really would require you all the time to renewal. So if you want to, so you need to renew yourself. Since you don't want to renew yourself, you don't do anything, and that's how you basically become a cesspool. Instead of the difference between having a running water, a running brook, a bubbling brook that's always moving and so on, then you become like very calm water. You become like a swamp. So you become a spiritually swamped person, and then you become very brute, and your mitzvot would reflect that. You might think that you're doing the mitzvot, but you're not. And overcoming the quality of afar, of dirt and heaviness, is a very important thing. There are many people who think that they believe in with all their heart, and that there is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. They believe in the Torah that Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us, but really prevent themselves to so-called jump into the water. They just don't want to fully commit that. Yes, but no, jump into the water and do it. Then people like this would refuse to accept upon themselves the necessary changes in their behavior in order to make sure that they're going to progress and develop further. They don't want to do it. I'm not changing my ways. They're not changing the ways. So yes, you might keep Torah or mitzvot, but you become a very ugly shomer Torah or mitzvot. And and people like this, they say, okay, I do what Hashem told me to do. That's it. No more, no less. You don't like to do, a person like this doesn't want to do things better. I mean, it's very interesting to me because it's exactly, those things happen only when it comes to things of holiness. When you, for example, have a car, you always want a better car. When for something that is materialistic, you always want the better, the more expensive, the this, the that. I'll go to a restaurant, I'll take a 12-ounce steak. No, next time I'm going to take the 18-ounce steak. Then I want the 35, then I want the dinosaur steak. Why when it comes to things of materialism, you always want better, and when it comes to spirituality, you want zilch, you want nothing. You just, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm paying my lip service. You call this Avodat Hashem? You in a way gozel. You are gozel. You are taking away a potential of life that was given for you to elevate yourself further, and you're using that to justify your existence. That's terrible. Change your ways. Change your ways. If you see a person that learned, 10, 20, 30 years, and is still the same buffoon as it was before, his Torah went like water in a pipe, one in, one out. The way it in, went out. This is terrible. That's because he's very lethargic. He's a procrastinator. He's a person that doesn't want to do the right thing. And in a spiritual realm, that's death. You always need to do things better. I'm not saying change every day from here to here, but every day change something else. Even just a small little hairline that you made today a change, it's going to bring you better, in tenfolds next time around. Every day to get a little bit better. Now, there are certain people who would also be lacking in the midah of zrizut and agility because they are too busy all the time with imaginations, with false imaginary things, whether it's like what happened to me in the past, what this one did to me, what that one did to me. That's why I cannot do it. They always find reason why they cannot do what they need to do. That's imaginary. That's what you put as an obstacle for yourself, and that's why you can't do it. You're stuck. You make your own reasons. You said, no, whatever happened, happened. From this point on, I can change things. Well, most people don't do that, and that's what they do. We always go to the blame game. And they would say, well, if I change my way, it's going to be difficult. Well, I can't get up every day at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm going to be tired. So therefore, I would still keep getting up at 8 o'clock. If I get up at all. If I daven at all. And so on and so forth. And that's why all of a sudden it becomes an issue of fear that it's going to be so difficult. And that fear really stops them from progressing and to really live life of faith, which are deep and meaningful throughout their life. They would never experience that. There will be and at the end, there will be very bitter, angry, unpleasant people to be around with. That's the bottom line. Anybody that was in the army, in the air, whatever it is, it was a paratrooper, or if you took skydiving, one time you paid whatever $100 and you went skydiving, right? Would know that before you jump from the plane, there is that moment that you know that you need to jump. I need to jump off the plane, and you know that you are about to jump. And yet, something inside of you, let's say, for example, forget about the army, okay? I don't want to do it. But let's say you paid, $250, $100, whatever it is. I paid to jump. No, I don't want to. It's okay, take the money. No, they're going to tell you, we got to jump. No, I don't want to. And always, you ever jump off a plane? It's a lot of fun.
I'm planning to.
I don't blame you. And something prevents you from doing so, and you freeze in your place. And this is many times when we come in to do physical or spiritual tests. Physical or spiritual tests. They go all the time. So don't tell me this is only physical. There's also, spiritual is also physical. For example, you could decide to do a certain test. Or today I'm going to start a diet. Or today I'm going to start exercising. Or today I'm going to start doing daf yomi. Or today I'm going to change, and so on and so forth. And really believe that the result is that we're going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm not going to make it. And as a result of that, I'm not going to do it at the end of the day. Right? It's going to be a failure. So even if you said, okay, no, I need to do it. A minute before you're going to start doing this test, you're going to find a reason why not to. You get, as they say, you get cold feet. And even if you really, I'm determined, that's it, I bought myself new, let's say I want to exercise, I bought myself new sneakers, I bought myself new tights like this that people wear, they're running, I'm ready to go. You open the door, you said, it's a little too humid today, or it's a little too chilly today. I think I'm going to get allergies. The end result is that you're not going to do it. You're going to fail. You almost broke yourself. You start to execute it, but when it's really time to, pay up, it's do so. And this is basically your false imagination that lets you destroy everything that you built until this point. Mm-hmm. Whether it's going to be your interpersonal relationships, whether it's going to be a commitment that you make for anything, or to yourself or to anyone, you're going to fail. Chazal says, and this is amazing, mitzvah haba leyadcha, al tachmitzena. A mitzvah that comes to your hand, al tachmitzena. Lachmitz means to lachmitz, to miss. Don't miss it. Don't miss this opportunity. However, I have a different chidush for you. And that's, by the way, another reason why we eat matzot on Pesach, and why did they had to eat. They had to go out of Egypt the way they had to go out of it. I mean, they could have gone to Paro and said, listen, Paro, it's like Lavan or Yaakov Avinu, the same thing. Lavan says, well, I'm going to let you go with the whole parade, I will send you home. Yaakov says, no, time to go now. I'm out of here. Same thing on Israel. There's an issue of freedom here that you need to understand. Now, lachmitzota also means to make something, lachmitz is to make, not only to miss something, but also to make something sour. Mm-hmm. Sour. Mm-hmm. And you're not allowed to make this, not only to miss the mitzvah, but you're not allowed to make the mitzvah sour in your face. In other words, it's not sweet to you. As much as the dough, when you make it like this, it becomes chametz in Pesach, and and you can eat it, so you can't tell me that you are lethargic on wanting to become free. Mm-hmm. When you are not free, you have a slave mentality. When you're sitting there on your whatever, and you don't want to get up, don't tell me you want to be free. Don't tell me you like to travel, and all you do is travel on Google Maps. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that you want to become a good person when you are don't want to do what needs to be done. When you're full of yourself. That selfishness is like an anchor to your neck. You can't do that. And with any mitzvah, if the time comes if the time passes from the time the mitzvah came to you right away, without doing so, not only you miss the opportunity, but you make your reality to be sour and bitter more than what it is, because now you didn't do anything positive. But when you don't engage in positive action all the time, your life becomes sour and meaningless. That's why it's important to give. And when you give, it's not only to get back. I don't buy you a gift because I want you to like me. I buy you a gift because I want to give it to you. It says, K'neh lecha chaver. What does it mean, K'neh lecha? Why I have to pay you to become my friend? No, K'neh lecha chaver is you have to give from yourself without expecting to come back in order to have actually a good friend. When you want something from me, if I want something from you, therefore I'm going to buy you something, I'm bribing you. I'm not looking to become your friend. I'm bribing you. And that's what we are today. We only do something, well, what could I get out of it? I only give you something so you can give something to me back. I only give you something for you to like me. Did you ever try to give a gift to somebody you don't like? And why don't you like this person? You only give people because you want to be number one, you want to be a double, you're a selfish brat. You're going to live meaningless life throughout your life. You're not going to have any friends because everybody reads right straight through you. You're not going to have any friends. You're going to be a miserable, sour person because you had an opportunity and you blew it out. And that's a Bali Adcha Mitzvah Tach Mitzena. There is an Israeli singer, poet, I call him even. His name is Meir Ariel. He writes a beautiful, he has a beautiful song. It's called Nesher HaNachash, the skin of the snake, whatever. So over there, believe it or not, he actually quotes the Yerushalmi. And he quotes the Yerushalmi, he says, Ve'abba chozer ve'omer, and Daddy keeps saying over and over again, Ta'azvenu yom, ya'azveka yomayim. You leave it one day, it leaves you for 2 days. Ha'agala nosa'at en atzor. The wagon keeps on going, it does not stop. Kafatzta mimena hayom, you jump over it today, chalfu sha'atayim, 2 hours had passed. Ve'ineni sharta me'achor, and all of a sudden you realize that you were left behind. It's an amazing song. I'll send it to you later on. It really is an amazing, and that's exactly what it is. You think that if you jump the bandwagon, the world would wait for you? Nobody waits for you. People keep on going, and you're not, people say, I'm staying in place. And that's what you understand. Since the whole universe is in a constant movement, so everything to you is moving as well. If you stand in one place, you're not staying in one place and progressing with them. They are going and you're staying behind. You're not making a movement. You're staying behind. You're not staying in one place. You're going behind. You're going behind. You're going back to what you were. You're not going to progress. That's why you need to work on yourself over and over and over again. The chances that we get in our life to do things is very, very meaningful, and that meaningfulness really passes and so quickly, like with a blink of the eye. The combination of doing the right thing at the right time passes once you pass the time. It's already, even if there'll be the right thing or be in the wrong time, that's not going to make it. That's going to be bad. When something, that's what Chazal says, the Kabbalah mitzvah, right? Al tachmitzena. Do the right thing at the right time. A person who is static and is slow and is lethargic really misses those opportunities until the point at the end that he's left behind. And to that quality of heaviness and laziness and the quality of procrastination that really prevents us to identify and to implement all those chances that we get in our lives, you can find, I'm sure, plenty of examples from your day-to-day, anywhere you look and anywhere you look. You'll see it all the time. For example, when there's a chance for you to give a donation for a place, so somebody comes, you need tzedakah, right? Or to give money to some kind of chesed organization. Sometimes we have like different heavy feelings of that, especially when it comes to money, we become overly suspicious about it, right? Everybody, people will collect in a lot of money. It doesn't mean that those organizations are all pure. There's many charlatans out there. But we are not talking about what them, because that suspiciousness is really an excuse for us not to give. I'm trying to tell you, look at yourself. You did what you need to do. You gave. If this person wanted to be a crook, that's his choice. But I gave. I did what I need to do. Right now, there is a horrible situation in Israel. A lot of people are raising money for this and raising money for that and doing this and doing that. There are still many people saying, I need to find the right place to give. Mm-hmm. And before you know, you don't need to give anymore. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And what happened? You lost an opportunity to teach yourself to give. So you didn't give. And sometimes you miss on great mitzvot like that. Like, for example, they say in the Gemara on Nachumish Gamzu, one day he met on the way a poor person that asked for him for a little bit of food. So Nachumish Gamzu said to him, wait a little bit, I'm going to, wait for me until I'm done. I need to unload my donkey. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to give you, I have a few things to take care of, then I'm going to give you food. When he came down to this poor person with a tray full of food and drinks and so on and so forth, he saw that the guy already died of starvation. Now, at that moment, Nachumish Gamsu asked for them to cut his legs off because they were not hasty enough to do a mitzvah to help this poor person. Now that's a major awareness. In other words, he could not tolerate the thought that because of his lethargicness, he was very heavy. He was kind of procrastinating a little bit, right? He did not help this person, and in a way, he saw himself responsible for the death of this person. He could live with that. And yet to us, without a blink of an eye, we don't care. We don't care. We just don't care. That's why I'm saying, now they have in pro-Israel parade or demonstration, whatever, in Washington, D.C. What day is it? Tuesday? Mm-hmm. Tuesday. Everybody says, yes, 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 yes. How many people will go? How many of you would actually take this opportunity to do the right thing and to actually go there and show face? How many of you will come with excuses why you cannot do it? How many of you would do it? Regardless of what the outcome would be, or whether they're going to release the prisoners or they're not going to release those people who were brutally kidnapped, regardless of that, what did you do for it? Did you do anything for it? Or you're just sitting here, saying, oh, wow, they should do this, and you're like a sofa quarterback, oh, yeah, do this, do that, they should do this, they should do that. What are you doing? Let me ask you a question. What are you doing? I mean, you could do simple things. I'm going to give you an example. Did any of you, I'm sure that all of you go on YouTube, besides you, everybody goes on YouTube, and you see all kind of videos about speaking badly about Israel, and those. Anybody of you actually said, report this, and you said that this brings hatred, and so did you do that? I mean, all it is press a button, right? And then write a couple of words why this is bad, and maybe they will take it out. Maybe yes, maybe no. But you should not be manipulating. Maybe they would, maybe they no, it's pointless. No. The point is that you didn't do it. And you failed. And that's what you need to do. At least something, contribute with something small or big. Contribute to something small or big. But you need to learn to contribute. You don't stay in one place because they're going to come and tremble all over you. All over you. We need to get up, and if it's time for us to get up and leave, we'll get up and leave, and do not wait. Because once the window is closed, you're stuck. If it's time for you to demonstrate, you demonstrate. If it's time for you to go out, and don't wait for somebody else to do it, and to start patrolling the streets, well, you need to patrol the street. Don't do anything that is illegal, but you need to patrol the streets. Don't wait for the police to do so, because the police will take about 40 minutes, like it happened to the kids in Cornell. mob over there wanted to break in and to really beat up those Jewish kids in the university. It took the police 40 minutes to arrive, and they still did not want to intervene. What the heck? Why'd they all go to join Gibor over there and learn to defend themselves? And I do recommend you guys to join Gibor Martial Arts on Main Street. If you're in Queens, all join there. That's something that would teach you how to at least have the attitude that I can do something about my faith. I'm not a slave. I'm a free man. And my freedom is in my hands. Don't trust freedom when it's not in your hand. You know where it's from. I don't need your civil war.
Guns N' Roses?
All the time. Right? One of the tricks, by the way, of the Yetzer Hara is to tell you that you have a lot of time on you. Don't worry, there's plenty of time for you to worry about it. Don't worry about it now. Right? And you're going to, in the future, going to continue, you're going to be able to do everything that you wanted, everything that you plan, everything that you think is right. There's going to be plenty of time for you in the future to do so. It's very important for us to recognize this pattern of behavior, the pattern of thinking, that we understand that maybe we will, maybe it sounds good, maybe it sounds convincing, but the true bitter reality shows you that it's not the case. Unfortunately, there are so many people who are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old that one day they wake up and they hold their head and they're saying, oh my goodness, where was I until now? Why didn't I do it earlier? Where all my life has gone? I'm 80 years old and my life is already gone. I know I'm smelling the mothballs already. I'm smelling the formaldehydes. I'm smelling the dirt closer and closer. What had happened to my life? You don't want to get to that point. For those people who want me, I'm going to retire. I want to get a job so I could retire. I'm saying to you, you're dead. You're a zombie. I don't understand. You're going to have some desire of life. Some kind of a craziness that's your thing. You don't have anything. You don't have even crazy things. You're just like crazy for not having any craziness in your life. Not anything about passionate about. Nothing. You fool yourselves. It's terrible. Life will pass whether you do something with it or you don't do anything with it. Life is not waiting for you. Time is not waiting for you. And you sometimes so pathetic you don't even dare to dream. You're afraid to dream. You would rather have no dreams than to maybe dream, because then we'll probably, maybe I have to do something. And guess what? I don't want to do anything. This is so bad. And more than that, how many of us know when you're going to pass of this world? When you're going to get the call to move out? Do you have a guarantee that this is going to happen, that you're going to die according to your terms? You don't know. Live like you were dying. Live every day like it's your last day. It could be that it's going to happen in 5 minutes. It could be going to be in 50 years from now. But you don't know when it's going to happen. And then the whole entire Olam Haba, you're going to feel sorry for the missed opportunities that you had, especially when it comes down to learning. The opportunities that you had. I want to see you. You're 20 years old. You saying, oh, it's hard for me to learn. You know how hard is it going to be to learn when you're going to be 60 years old? If you didn't learn until now, it's going to be impossible. It's going to be impossible. So in our Sfarim, it says that the biggest punishment for a person after he's dead, that's the essence of Gehenna. If you want to know the essence of Jewish hell, not like in other faiths. Oh, you're going to be burned in lava, in hot lava, and ice. No. The Jewish, our hell is not like Dante's hell, even though it became very popular. This is the essence of Jewish hell. Is the embarrassment that your neshama would feel when it's going to be shown all the places that you could have gone and do good, all the things that you could have with your abilities to reach, but you were too lazy, you were too slow, you procrastinated for too long. That's the essence of Jewish hell. The pain that you're going to feel at that moment is going to be so much harder than any kind of a skewer that is going to be stuck into you, or any fire that you're going to be roasted in. That fire of great miss of opportunity that you can now never achieve. But, we know that this is the time for us to work, and we're not looking to get a reward. A reward is an olam haba. That's why a person that looks for an immediate gratification, whether it's in interaction with friends, or interactions with spouses, or for any good things they want to get a cash or gold, is a fool. Is a person that's lacking in his emunah altogether. And after we're going to depart from this world, every opportunity that we missed is not going to come back. That's why it's important to really gather as much as we can right now, every single mitzvah that we can, even if we have to trick our ways to do a mitzvah, we have to do it. And that's something that is very important. Another trick of the Yetzer Hara is to tell us, don't do it. It's not to tell you don't do it, because you know I want to do it. It's going to tell you do it, but a little while, just wait a little bit. Like, I know I need to get up. But the Yetzer Hara tells you, listen, Habibi, you work hard. You're learning. You go to work. You go to school. You're up all night with your kid. 5 minutes is not going to make any difference to you. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm just going to sleep for 5 minutes. That 5 minutes end up to be 5 hours. 5 minutes. It's just like going to rest myself a little bit. When I wake up in the morning, when I open my eyes in the morning, the first thing I do, I make myself uncomfortable. I take the blanket over me, because it's very comfy under the blanket. It's like nice, 98 degrees, under the blanket. It's nice. I'll take the blanket off me. I make myself uncomfortable. If I see that I'm becoming very lethargic, I would take my legs out of the bed to feel uncomfortable. Then I get up. That's it. But I don't need to do that. But the first thing I do is take the blanket. I just don't say, there's no 5 more minutes by me. No, I'm up. Last night, I went to sleep about 12:15. I fell asleep quickly. I usually fall asleep within 15 seconds. Because I'm ready to sleep, I'm sleeping. I don't have that phone in me. I don't watch TV, whatever. I don't do any of this. I go to sleep, I'm tired, I go to sleep. I got up at 3:50, actually 3:13. I was debating, I said, I'm up. Should I go to sleep? Continue sleeping? I feel okay. I said, well, out of responsibility, it's not good to have 3 hours of sleep. At 6 o'clock I was up. 6 o'clock I was up. I was out of bed. That's it. Done. Don't give yourself this. Do it a little later, right? Because you know that once you give yourself this extra 5 minutes, laziness, procrastination start to get into effect, and you lost it. Anybody that's going to say, tomorrow I'm going to start a diet, could also probably testify that tomorrow came already, and you're still finding yourself eating a lot of cakes and borekas that you should not be eating. The diet doesn't start tomorrow, it starts today. You want something, you do it now, not then, now. And if you're not going to start it now, it's not going to happen. That's exactly what Hillel said in Pirkei Avot. Im lo achshav matai. If not now, when? Now is the time to do so. Of course, another trick of the Yetzer Hara is to cause us to start something, but not to become fully pledged on it. In other words, to become very, very superficial. And you should know that being superficial and being mediocre is a very, very bad disease of the lazy person. Everything you do, you should do the best possible way. It doesn't mean you're going to be the best at it, but you're going to be the best that you could become to be. And that's a level by itself. Let's say, for example, Sensei, he's more athletic than I am. I could never be him, but I can only be me. And since I know who I am, I'm trying to be the best I can, not to compete with him. So if you have two friends, right, you don't try to be the best, a competition who's going to be the best friend. You'll be the best friend that you could be, and he could be the best thing that he could be. If you have, you're a talmid of somebody in the yeshiva or in class or whatever it is, you try to be the best talmid that you could be, not to try to overdo anybody else, because you're wasting resources and you're never going to be anything. And that's something for us to understand. A person that does things in order just to make a mark of V in his life, where is a person that needs to realize that his heart and his power is not in the right place, is not into this action, and that action is going to, better if you didn't do it than you do half, jobs like that. And that is especially where we are standing right now. We need to be very, very agile, very quick to show our support of our brothers and sisters that are in Israel and anywhere. We should speak up against anti-Semitism. and we should not be afraid to speak our mind. If you keep yourself quiet, you have no reason to complain later on. This is a battle that we face in every generation, and right now, it is our turn to stand up and fight. So you're going to do it, or you're going to lay dead and play possum. And that is true to everything else. We need to really roll our sleeves up and do whatever we can. Whatever we can do, each one to his or her abilities, try to do the best thing to live the best Jewish life that we can. Let's put meaning on our life by being a little quick. Have a great day.